On Monday, September 22nd, it marked 1 year since the famous... That, of course, was used to troll Haaland and Manchester City mercilessly because last season was weird. It was very, very strange to see Pep Guardiola's Manchester City play so pitifully at times, and to see an out-of-sorts Erling Haaland leading the attack. Funnily enough, an Erling Haaland who isn't at his best is still capable of scoring 34 goals in 48 appearances, more than a lot of strikers that people were saying were above him. There are levels to everything, including how a player slumps. But starting out this season, he's looking like the Haaland of old, the guy who was basically scoring at least a goal per game when he first arrived in the 22-23 season. Well, actually, he has more than a goal per game so far this season, but the ruthless efficiency was what I'm talking about here.
Reinders, Haaland, that is a brilliant goal.
Look at his first Champions League match of this season. He marked the occasion with a goal and reached 50 goals faster than any other player in the history of the sport. Makes sense, right? I mean, he clearly loves this competition. He marked his UCL debut with a hat trick back when he was with RB Salzburg after all. It's no wonder why Pep Guardiola has backed him to become the all-time top scorer in this competition, and the speed in which he hit 300 career goals is shocking. But beyond all of the ridiculous goal-scoring exploits, of which, of course, we'll go through them, he's also refined another portion of his game, the defensive side. Not bad for someone who has been accused of being a tap-in merchant, to which Haaland has replied, quote, "What's the most difficult thing in football? If you're a tap-in merchant, that means you're scoring a lot of goals, no? There, you kind of have the answer. I like it if people call me a tap-in merchant. I love it. That means you're doing something right, that a lot of other people can't." But the implication is that he is someone who just hangs around the box, waiting for service and waiting to reap all of the rewards. He's not doing that, as evidenced by his play throughout the season, where through performance and attitude, he's become a leader at Manchester City, officially so as well. Erling Haaland is dropping deeper than he usually would, and contributing in defense and out of possession far more. Take his match against Manchester United as an example, as it actually provides probably the best example of how he has changed his game. In that 3-0 win, beyond scoring a brace, Haaland made 6 clearances, the same amount as Kusanov, and 1 fewer than Ruben Dias. He was all over the pitch, pressing the United defenders and midfielders like we hadn't seen him do in past seasons. Up until that point, Haaland hadn't lost a single aerial duel. But against Arsenal recently, he lost 2 out of his 4, coming up against Gabriel and Saliba. In total, that's 12 out of 14 won, 85.7%. This is an area that Haaland improved upon when it came to attacking. When his career started, he wasn't great in the air despite his frame, but now he's become imposing on the defensive end of aerial duels. With Manchester City, he was previously averaging only about 50% of duels won. He's improved there by about 35% now. Haaland has seemingly seen the benefit of contributing to the collective and putting the team's interests first. And Guardiola spoke of the importance of this back in the summer when he announced that Haaland was part of the 4-man leadership group in the squad, alongside Ruben Dias, Bernardo Silva, and Rodri. Guardiola spoke of Haaland saying, quote, "He's so young, but he has to start to learn what it means to be a captain, because hopefully he'll be here for many years, and sooner or later, he will take that position as the first one, main captain. He has to start to learn what's best for the team. It can be complicated, but at the same time, so simple. Always put the team and your mates ahead of you, and ask all the time what's best for the team. When you decide what's best for the team, then you never make a mistake. Ever." His goal against Arsenal was a great example of not just how Haaland has changed, but how those changes have come due to Manchester City changing. Now, of course, we were just 5 matches in, but with City's issues in defense since about November of last season, they had trouble adapting to their older style of play, trying to hold possession far up the pitch, but consistently getting caught out and not having the means to cover themselves defensively and leaking goals because of it, and points as well. This season, Manchester City are playing without the ball far more and trying to hit teams in transition. Probably the most striking example of that being their trip to the Emirates this past weekend, where City had just 32.8% of the possession, the lowest ever in Pep Guardiola's 601 league matches throughout his career. After the match, Guardiola said, quote, "One time in 10 years is not bad, right? I have to prove myself again in another strategy. Now I'm a transition team. You know that. Now the thing is, according to Pep, that's not exactly by choice. At least he isn't setting out to play that way all the time, rather being forced into it in certain matches, likely a consequence of the many changes within the squad. Guys who are still getting used to his system, and guys that are no longer there, such as Kevin De Bruyne or Gundogan, etc. As Pep recently said, quote, "Always I say, when we defend deeper because they are better or we are shit, you can run. You can run on transition, run. But it's because we are there. But in the principles, I prefer to regain up the pitch and make a lot of possession to destructure the opponents to try to punish them. Always I've been like that, and always I will be like that. If it doesn't happen, I tell you what, it's because we were bad. We were not good, not because we want to do that." And Haaland's goal was a great example of that, him dropping deep, winning the ball in City's midfield, then playing it off to Reinders and sprinting up the pitch to finish the attack. So City, the counter-attacking team it is. It's just another way of playing added to their tool belt. They can play their possession-based model against sides that will provide less of a challenge where it's suitable, but they can default to being a transition team when suitable as well, because they certainly have the players for it when you look at their squad. A running midfielder in Tijani Reinders who thrives at progressing the ball. Wide men like Doku, the pièce de résistance, of course, Erling Haaland. Now, this new way of City playing could be perfect for Haaland, as we have seen at times how goals can be somewhat more difficult for him when he's playing against a low block. That said, he's still the ultimate striker. His movement in the box is peak, but against a team sitting deep, he's at the mercy of the delivery of his teammates, right? When playing in transition, he can storm forward and utilize his strength and pace to get past the back line, kill them while running into the space in behind them, because remember, the first thing most people think about with Erling Haaland isn't necessarily his speed. Maybe it's because he doesn't look like he's working too hard to absolutely fly down the pitch with those long legs, but last season in the Champions League, he clocked a top speed of 36.6 kilometers per hour, which as of March was the fastest in the competition last season, until Hakimi broke his record in the latter stages of the tournament. So with less of the ball, City rank in 8th, even behind Manchester United when it comes to possession averages this season. We get to see Haaland at his most devastating. Even in the Champions League, all that Di Lorenzo could do was trip up the Norwegian as he made his way through on goal. Got a red card for it. His strength and speed make him near unplayable at times, coupled with his sense for goal, which he showed against Napoli with that diagonal run and improvised flicked header of a finish, and you can see how this new way of playing could get even more out of Haaland, if that was even thought to be possible. Also, another change I've noticed, his passing and link-up play has improved greatly in the last year or so. But beyond a change in playing style and great contributions off of the ball, let's get back to his leadership, where he has become a reference for his squad mates, which by the way, at 25, he's still on the younger side of the squad, but you can count 10 players that are younger than him now. But yes, his mentality and professionalism when it comes to how he takes care of himself off of the training pitch in order to maximize results on the pitch is another way in which he has become a leader. That and his hunger to win every time he is out there, providing words like, quote, "We need to all be at our best, get our asses going, because it's not been good enough so far. That is not an excuse, that's what the club pays us for." Even in analyzing his past mistakes, he has an exceptionally mature outlook on things. When asked about the FA Cup final defeat, how he handed the penalty off to Omar Marmoush and Wayne Rooney's condemnation of Haaland for doing so, Haaland told Time, quote, "I shouldn't have given it to a new player, so the responsibility is on me. I put him in this situation. I had a good feeling on him, but I should have taken it myself. I almost forgot it until you started speaking about it. I cannot keep on thinking about last season. That last season was not good enough, this or that. That's the best part of football. There's always something new that's coming. You have to think about what is coming next and live in the present moment. A bad short-term memory is a blessing in some cases, such as this, and it's no wonder how he can continue to score goal after goal. Spend a match without a goal, you'll get 1 or 3 in the next one, and that's what he has done throughout his career, with this season being no exception. Already, Erling Haaland has managed to score 6 goals in 5 appearances in the Premier League, and he's 1 for 1 in the Champions League. In all, with Manchester City, he has played in 102 Premier League matches, scoring 91 and assisting 17 times. That's 108 goal contributions in 102 appearances. In the FA Cup, 9 goals and an assist in 10 appearances, so as many contributions as games. The League Cup, he hardly gets a game, just 1 goal in 2 appearances. But even for Norway, Haaland has 48 goals in 45 appearances. But the Champions League is where he is showing just how freakish his finishing is. In 49 appearances, Haaland has scored 50 goals, faster than any other player by a long shot. Just look at the ranking here. Haaland in 49 matches, Van Nistelrooy in 62, Messi in 66, all-time top scorer Ronaldo, it took him 91 matches, and Haaland is already ranked 9th in the all-time scoring charts, tied with Thierry Henry, and currently has an untouchable 1.02 goals per game ratio. But what gets even scarier is when you consider how quickly Erling Haaland got to 300 goals for club and country, of which, yeah, there was that 5-goal game against Moldova recently. But when he scored against Juve in June at the Club World Cup, that goal took him to 300 goals in 370 career matches. To put it into perspective here, it took Cristiano Ronaldo 554 matches, Messi 418 matches, and Mbappe 409 matches. 300 goals at 24, he's 25 now, but 300 at 24 or 25 is crazy all the same. I think last season skewed people's viewing of Haaland a little bit. It made us forget just how remarkable he is, how much of a nightmare he is. And now with this change in approach from City at times, with more responsibility on his shoulders as a leader, and with a more well-rounded approach to his game, Erling Haaland will continue to be a devastating Clash of Clans character. Continue to be a devastating, standards-lifting player for club and country.